Okay, let's get started. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Street Life Committee meeting of Community Board 8. My name is Abraham Salcido, and I chair this committee. For the record, it is Tuesday, June 6th, 6:30 p.m. start time. A couple of rules of the road. I will go down the agenda and call on the applicant or representative for each agenda item. I will ask that each applicant or representative state their name, tell us a little bit about their application. After that, I will inquire if there's any member of the public that has questions or comments on that particular application. After that, I will go to my fellow committee members for any questions, comments, or motions to be taken on the application. As a reminder, any action taken by the committee here will be voted on by the full board. That will be at the full board meeting on Wednesday, June 21st. A few other items. Please remember to direct any questions or comments only to me as the chair, no crosstalk. Additionally, please be mindful that everyone has a right to speak and express their opinion, but please let's be respectful and adhere to the rules of decorum. Anyone that is unable to do so will be muted and not be allowed to participate further in the meeting. Lastly, a reminder for applicants and their representatives that as part of this process, there had to be flyering done to provide notice to the community of the appearance today. Please remember that you are required and that we ask that you please take down those flyers. Please do so after the full board meeting on June 21st. So please have yourself or representative take down the flyers after the full board meeting on June 21st. One announcement, a joint topic between Street Life and the Transportation Committee will be held tomorrow during the Transportation Committee's meeting, which involves the City Council's draft legislation for the permanent open restaurants program. So that is a joint item with Street Life and Transportation. Again, this is a topic that is germane to all applications here. So if you have an interest in discussing that proposed legislation or hearing more about it or commenting on it, that will be heard tomorrow evening at the Transportation Committee. So with that, I think those are all my instructions. I will hand it over to you, Robert, for the technical rules of the road.
Sure, thank you, Abraham. Welcome. If this is your first time joining us or your first time in a long time, you notice that you are currently muted and that you remain that way throughout the meeting except the committee chair, Abraham, and any presenters as we move through the agenda. Following the presentations as we move through the agenda, Abraham will call on members of the public who wish to speak. You can participate by going to the reactions icon on your device and pressing the raise hand button, not the wave or the thumbs up. Those will disappear. Only press it once. If you press it a second time, your hand will go back down. If you're calling in on the phone, it is *9 to raise your hand and *6 to unmute. Please be on the lookout for a prompt asking you to confirm unmuting once Abraham calls on you. The chat is for technical support only to help with Zoom software problems. It is not to ask questions of the chair or the presenters. They will not see these chats. If you're using an older version of Zoom, you need to go to the participant section where you find the raise hand feature there. Please do not raise your actual hand or wave at the screen because we may not be able to see you. Chat me, I'm here for support. Abraham, back to you.
Thank you very much, Robert. And then lastly, just a quick tally of the committee members that I have that I'm seeing. I have myself, Judy, Barbara, Marco, Addison, Cause, Evan, and Russell. I see a couple of cell phones, but so if any of those have to be committee members, let us know. Otherwise, if I've missed anyone, do let me know, and I will keep an eye during the meeting for any individuals that join once we've commenced.
That's my count as well, Abraham. I don't know if Judy is on with the audio as well, or just an
Good point.
No,
Okay.
she is not, and she should not be counted on any votes until she is.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh, I'm seeing. Why do we have a hand up on the 917 number? Is that Judy by any chance?
Yes, hi, Abraham. This
Hi,
is
Judy.
Judy. I'm on my phone,
Okay,
and
great.
I have to go to the 19th precinct to make a presentation. So I'll be in and out of this call.
Okay, I will keep an eye on
Okay.
phone and to see what and to check that you're voting on specific items. Thank you very much for letting us know.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, with that, I will go to item 1A. This is for Chick Queen. Do I have the representative or the applicants for 1A Chick Queen? This is a new application for wine, beer, and cider.
Abraham, I just unmuted the representative.
Great.
Sherry, you should be unmuted.
Yeah, no, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, Sherry.
Oh, hi, so I'm the representative for the Chicken Queen. So
Mhm.
for this location, we only apply for the wine and the beer license.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very small restaurant with only 4 tables and at most 12 chairs. And the opening time is 11:30 in the morning, and we close early at 9:30 every day p.m. Okay, so actually, because the food they serving is fried chicken, so a lot of clients they asking for beer or wine when they order the fried chicken. So that's why the owner would like to apply for the beer and wine license.
Okay, thank you, Sherry. A couple of quick questions and also a reminder for all applicants. Common questions to note in your response. 1, if there's been any 311 complaints for your application. 2, whether the establishment and location is ADA compliant. Sherry, is the location ADA compliant, and have you had any 311 complaints that you're aware of?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. And it is ADA compliant, the space?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So with that, I will first inquire if there's any members of the public for this application. Any members of the public, questions, comments for 1A? Seeing none, I will first go to Marco Tamayo.
Thank you, Abraham. I would like to put a motion, and the motion is to approve as presented and then to speak. Is anybody can second?
Yes, you have a second by myself
Okay.
and Addison.
Okay, I think this is a very small restaurant, extremely small, and the other hours of operation is a restaurant. What I'm going to call the attention to all applicants is, I was in the last street fair on the community board, but I was in the other one prior to that one. And one common question is coming to the meeting, and the public complaint about the bicycles. It's true that they signed an stipulation, but between you and me, I think I know that we can enforce anything. I know we are an advisory committee, but we don't do much. We need to do something else, because we cannot continue like that. I think this applicant, I think that's delivery, if I'm not wrong. And I think we had to figure it out, but my point is just to make the point right now and probably ask a couple of questions to the other applicants. And I would like at the end of the meeting to discuss a little bit this issue. And with that, and thank you.
Thank you, Marco. Cause?
Yeah. Is there any structure on the sidewalk?
Can we unmute Sherry? Sherry, the question is if there's any sidewalk structure for the establishment.
Yeah, at the entrance door, there is a enclosed space. There's only, I think, 1 table with 4 seats. It's like a shared, small shed.
But that structure is illegal.
Actually, we got no idea because they just took over this location last year. So, and he just purchased as it is. So if this one is illegal, I can ask him just remove it. Because when I go there to do the inspection myself, I see the little shed and with one table inside. Actually, it's not.
Do you have is there photographs of the structure that we can, and this is something I think we should be getting from everybody, the structure on the sidewalk. Do you have a photograph?
For the photograph, let me see. So you can see I have the floor plan, and on the floor plan, they have this one marked over here. Maybe it's not clear.
A metal hatch door.
Yeah. So I don't know whether it's
No.
stabilized or not. So
No,
I check with yeah, I'm not sure. On the floor plan, the architect gave to me, they have this location, a small shed beside the entrance door. So I should double check to see if we can
No,
legalize.
he doesn't understand.
So I think what we're going to suggest is, so I mentioned we're having further, there's been draft legislation for the city council for the open restaurants program. Please have the applicant or yourself work to ensure that the space is reviewed and that it is aligned with the existing requirements, because there's a certain clearances that have to be for any type of space, whether it can be enclosed. So please ensure that those are reviewed.
You need to brush it because otherwise it sticks up.
And how many tables do you have inside? 4 tables or something?
For the inside, we have, you mean the tables? We have 4 tables and 12 chairs.
Now, I'm not sure if you would know or somebody or any other lawyer would know. During COVID, the SLA had alcohol to go. Is that still in effect or has that been terminated? So are you selling alcohol?
Look who you're asking. Oh.
I'm sorry, what?
No, I mean, I can't believe causes.
Judy, we can hear you, and I don't know why. So
Sorry,
you may want to stop talking.
Okay, I think she's successfully muted.
So I'm not, is that alcohol to go still valid or has that been terminated or? I can't remember.
I don't believe, I've not seen anything that it was terminated since the April.
Oh, well, that's something we can find out later. Okay, that's all my question. But these sidewalk structures, I will ask the same question over and over. And I think we should be getting photographs of the front of the establishment and any, well, depending on what the new open restaurant bill is going to be. But from my understanding of the last one, sidewalk structures are not legal.
Great.
So
okay. That's all I've got.
Okay. Thank you, Cause. So we have a motion to approve by Marco that has been seconded. Does anyone want to call the question? Addison.
Yes, I'd like to call the question on this resolution.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to, is anyone opposed to calling the question? Okay, seeing none. Okay, so this is a motion to approve. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, please give me a sign or I will put you down as a yes vote. And Mrs. Brown, I saw that you did join. I'm assuming you are voting on this item.
I am, but I'm a little unclear with regard to the structure regarding the questions that Cause has raised. Is there a stipulation that the structure must come down and So that's a concern. And were there any ADA questions asked?
There was. I did inquire whether the establishment was ADA compliant, and the representatives responded in the affirmative.
Okay. So
Let me circle back on the. So Sherry, I did say that with regards to the enclosure, you should have it checked to make sure it is compliant with the regulations. Can we add that as a stipulation that you will do so, and if it is not compliant, it will be removed?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Okay, great. Okay, so then on that basis, we'll continue with the roll with that additional stipulation. So if anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, please give me as indicator. Anyone voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining? I am seeing none, and I also looks like I don't have Judy any longer. Okay, so then I will put that down as an 8-0 approval without Judy. So thank you very much, Sherry. Appreciate your time and good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Next up is item 1B as in boy. Do I have the representative for Antico? Yes, I see Tanya's hand.
Tanya, you should be unmuted. And
I'm
Brian.
unmuted, and my legal Brian also needs to be unmuted.
There we go. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
My name is Brian. I'm here with Tanya Manuale, one of the owners of AB 60th, doing business as Alantico Vinayo. This is for an on-premise beer, wine, and cider license at 36 East 60th Street. That's between Park and Madison. It used to be an art gallery. So Alantico Vinayo is an artisanal sandwich shop. It's an Italian sandwich shop. It's primarily takeout. For those who've visited the two other New York City locations, you'd be familiar with it. There's essentially a counter where guests can order, and then they pay for the sandwiches and their food or drinks right there. As I said, most people take it out. For those who do stay in and dine, there will be 4 to 8 tables or so with 2 to 4 seats per table. And then it will also be wine, beer offered, though it's a very small part of the operations. Additionally, there will be some seasonal outdoor dining on the sidewalk only. Again, 4 to 8 tables, 2 to 4 seats per table. There will be some ambient recorded music. The hours will be every day. So 7:30 a.m. to 11:30 will be primarily coffee or espresso service. And then from 11:30 a.m. until 11 p.m., it will be on premise and for takeout food and beverage service.
Great.
As far as ADA compliance, my understanding is that there are no issues, that it is, and it's a brand new establishment. It's still being built. No 311 complaints that we know of.
Great, thank you very much. Further to the seasonal outdoors, is there currently any existing structure on the sidewalk?
No existing structure.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so first I will take questions from members of the public on this application. Do I have any members of the public with a question or comment on this application? If not, seeing none at the moment, I will go to cause, then Mrs. Brown, then Marco.
Yeah, isn't there a couple of Tanya and, oh, I'm sorry. The alcohol to go, is that going to be sold to go or strictly on premises?
So it's both. Governor Hochul, sorry, Brian, I jumped in. Go ahead. Governor Hochul approved. I'll give you your answer because I have other businesses in the city. Governor Hochul approved in the 2022-2023 budget that alcohol to go will continue in New York City.
Forever or until rescinded?
I have no idea what.
Yeah, till 2025, unless it's further approved by the legislature and the governor. But right
Okay.
now, the law goes till 2025.
Okay, saves my questions from now on. Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome.
Mrs. Brown?
My question was regarding alcohol to go, how long that was going to be enforced. Other than that, since it's ADA compliant, motion to approve.
Okay, great. Do I have a second? Yeah, I see a thumbs up for a second. Great. Barbara and then Marco.
Just a quick question. Are you the same as the one in Florence, Italy?
Yes, that is our Italian partner. We're not partners in Italy, but he is our partner in North America.
And the same type of food and everything?
It's that fantastic Florentine schiacciata with the artisanal Italian cured meats and mozzarella and oversized sandwich.
I say yes to everything. Thank you.
Okay. Marco?
Are you making deliveries?
We will be using Uber Eats, the Uber. We don't make our own deliveries. We don't have our own bikes or anything like that.
When you make an agreement with them, with a third party delivery, are you asking to be in compliance with the bicycle law?
We follow whatever laws there are to follow 100%. And we don't do otherwise at any of our establishments.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, let me ask one more question. You said there's a brand new place. Did you file in the building department?
Of course, yes, we're doing construction. We filed everything with the building department.
So you have a working permits?
Absolutely, they're in the window.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
I'm gonna recommend my approval of your application. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Addison?
I'd like to call the question.
Okay, great. Is anyone opposed to calling the question? Mrs. Brown?
I'm sorry. I was trying to lower my hand.
Oh, okay.
But is there a bicycle affidavit in the file?
Yes, we submitted an affidavit.
Okay. Thank you, Brian.
Okay.
You're welcome, Mrs. Brown.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. We're going to go to the roll. There's a motion to approve. So if anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, please give me an indicator. Otherwise, you'll be going down as a yes vote. So anyone voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, give me a yes, give me a sign. Seeing none, this will go down as an 8-0 approval. Thank you very much. Good luck and look forward to having you in the neighborhood.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Okay, great. Moving on to item 1C. This is the Brooklyn Dumpling Shop. Do I have the representative for Brooklyn Dumpling Shop?
Yes, hi. Hi, everybody. Kathleen Stathopoulos.
Hi, Kathleen.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Okay, good. Thank you. Nice
Great.
to see you again. Okay, so Brooklyn Dumpling Shop, Brooklyn Shop 78 LLC, known as Brooklyn Dumpling Shop. Imir Kami is the owner, and I was before you maybe a couple of months ago for Salvo's on the corner. He is the owner of Salvo's, and he's opening up now Brooklyn Dumpling Shop. Brooklyn Dumpling Shop doesn't sound like a place that should be in Manhattan, but he has one in Brooklyn. He also has one in Hoboken. So he's expanding. He has one also on the West Village. So now he's expanding to this location, which was, I was before you on this one. It was Heroes Certified Burgers a number of years back. So he's taking over for that person, Antonio, and he's taking over his business, and he's going to change it into Brooklyn Dumpling Shop. So it is, let's see, 80% food, 20% drink. There are 7 stools at a bar. There are 18 tables, 18 seats inside and 18 seats outside. Only surround music, recorded music, no live music. There will be bicycle delivery, but using outside vendors. There is the other, as I said, the other establishment he owns within your community is Pizza 78 LLC, doing business as Salvo's. The hours are from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. And the outside area, just so you know, was an outside area that was approved under the pre-COVID regulations before you guys for Hero Certified Burger. And he's just keeping that same area. There's no street service or any kind of enclosures or any kind of devices. It is ADA compliant, and I'm not aware of any 311 complaints for Hero Certified Burgers.
Okay, thank you very much, Kathleen. So first I will go to the public. If there's any members of the public that have any questions or comments on this application, please raise your hand. Seeing none, I will go to Marco, Mrs. Brown, then Cause.
I'm sorry that I had to contradict Kathleen. There is not ADA compliance. You have a step at the entrance of the place. I know very well the location, and there is a step approximately 6 inches, and for 6 inches at least you need a ramp of 6 feet long. So my recommendation is you should make an effort at least to have some as recommend the American for Disability Act. Something that you can provisionally put it in that place, and every time that somebody asking a request to have access to the place, you should have a ramp, so that you can fix the problem. But you have to do that. I know this is a very small place. I know very well the location, so I strongly recommend to go in that direction. And I think this is this is oriented completely to be a restaurant. I know that.
Right. Yeah, no, I apologize for that. I'm looking at a photograph. I don't see a step up, but I believe you.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're aware
there
of
is.
it. I don't.
I used to go when it was the burger.
Oh, yeah, no, I believe you. And I represented Antonio, so I will find out for them if they do have a removable ramp. They might have a portable ramp there. If not, I will certainly advise them to get one.
Yes, please.
I mean,
yes.
because the lawyers will be there anyway, bringing the ADA complaints against them. So absolutely, you want one. As long as it's.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes, thank you. I was concerned and concerned about the step, and I'm glad, Marco, you brought it to our attention. That being said, motion to approve with the stipulation that they will provide a portable ramp to accommodate ADA compliance. Thank you.
Great, you have a second to that. Kathleen, just assuming that's quite all right.
Yeah, I actually will go a step further. We'll provide the portable ramp as well as a sign outside that states that a ramp is available, and to just call for
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, Cause?
Yeah, sorry, Kathleen, but my usual question. You mentioned that there's outside that was there before, but there's no structures on the sidewalk, are there?
No. It's just an outside cafe with, I think they have stanchions up, that's
Right.
the cafe, but not a structure itself. Exactly.
Thanks.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
No problem, Cos.
Addison?
Hi, apologies. There's a very loud beeping going on. Call the question, please.
Great, thank you. Does anyone oppose calling the question? No, I'm seeing thumbs up. Okay, so this is we're gonna go to the roll. This is a motion to approve with the stipulation of the ADA ramp as discussed. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause, or abstaining, please give me an indicator. Otherwise, I will mark you down as an approval. Anyone voting no, not voting for cause, or abstaining? Okay, this will go. I see another 917. Was that Judy? Judy, are you back on the phone? Okay, maybe that's not her. Okay, then this will be an 8-0 approval. Thank you, Kathleen. Appreciate your time and help as always.
Thanks, guys. Okay, have a great night.
Likewise.
Okay, bye.
Okay, next on my list, item 1D, do I have the representative for tiramisu? Yes. Hello, Phil.
Hello.
Hi.
And we have Karen here as well. I see her right there, so good to go. My name is Phil Dorn, attorney with Pizetsky and Bookman. With me is Karen Vedad, who is one of the operators of this long-run family establishment on the Upper East Side. Many of you are probably familiar with La Tiramisu, a neighborhood favorite Italian restaurant that's been open on 80th and 3rd for over 30 years now. Unfortunately, the building that they're currently in was sold and is set to be demolished in October. So the family from La Tiramisu is looking to open in a new location on 85th and 2nd. They'll have the exact same method of operation, which is a food-forward Italian restaurant closing at 11 o'clock, actually 10 p.m. on Sundays. Just recorded background music only. They will have a few tables on the sidewalk, just like they do now at their current location, but no structure or anything like that. We would hope that no one would have any issue with a family-owned and operated restaurant that's been around for so long, simply applying for a liquor license for a restaurant that'll be identical to the current one. But of course, if anyone has any questions or concerns, we're certainly happy to answer them. We are ADA compliant. We have a ramp.
Wonderful. Great. Okay, so first I'll go to members of the public. If there's any member of the public that has a question or comment on this application, please raise your hand. Seeing none, I will go to my committee member Marco, followed by Addison, then Mrs. Brown.
Thank you. I would like to put a motion. The motion is to approve as presented and then to speak. Is anybody can second?
Yes, you have a second from Barbara.
Okay, so yes, I know very well the place. I has been in your place many times at 80th Street and 3rd Avenue, and I think this is a good place. The only situation is, since it's a new place, a new venue, I think you file a new application in the Department of Buildings. Is that correct? Oh, okay. So basically, it is compliance with the ADA.
Yes.
Because usually the DOB enforce that part, and that's what we like to hear always, that you file and then we know that DOB is doing the right thing. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Next I have Addison, followed by Mrs. Brown, followed by Cause.
Yeah, I see that there are other hands, but I was going to call the question if there are no objections to that.
I don't have a second. Oh, well, let's go to Mrs. Brown and Cause first, and then we'll carry on.
Thank you. I wasn't clear if anyone stated if there was a backyard or music or
No backyard and recorded music only. Background.
Okay, then I'll second Addison's motion.
Great. Cause.
Yeah, you mentioned that there's not going to be structure. Is that correct? No structure on the sidewalk?
That's correct.
But you will apply for the street if...
No plan to have streets, to have seats in the roadway.
Okay. What's there now?
It was a Chinese restaurant, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so going back, the question has been called. Is anyone opposed calling the question? If so, give me a sign. Otherwise, I'll go to the roll. Okay, seeing none, I will go to the roll. So there's a motion to approve. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, give me a sign. Otherwise, it will go down as a yes vote for the approval. Anyone voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining. Okay. Seeing none, this will go down as an 8-0 approval for the full board. So thank you very much. We're excited that you will continue in the neighborhood, and good luck on the transition.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Last item in category 1. Do I have the representative for 1E, Wonder? Oh, Mr. Dorn.
I'm back.
Yes.
Hope you didn't miss me too much.
Didn't even have a chance to.
So it's me again, Phil Dorn, attorney with Pizetsky and Bookman. With me is Vivek Anand. I just want to make sure he's here. Oh, I see him. And he is waving.
Good evening, everyone.
Vivek is the head of operations for HDR Holdings, aka Wonder. Wonder is opening a restaurant at 86th between Lex and Park, where they'll be offering a variety of different menu options all under one roof. If you want Mexican food, they'll have Mexican food. If you want Greek, they'll have Greek. A few examples of some of the different menus, which will all be available at all times, were included in the packet of documents that we submitted. It operates almost like a Sweetgreen, where customers will order from a counter and then have the opportunity to either dine in or take their food to go. They are just seeking a beer and wine license tonight for the customers who are dining in. It's a relatively small restaurant with an occupancy of just 50. It'll close at 10 o'clock each night, and we'll have just background recorded music only. No outdoor seating, no backyard, no sidewalk or roadway seating either. And they are ADA compliant. So with that, I will turn it back over to the committee.
Excellent. Thank you, Phil. I will inquire from the public. Are there any members of the public with a question or comment on this application? Going once, going twice. Seeing none, and then I therefore will go to my committee member Marco, followed by Mrs. Brown.
Thank you. I would like to put a motion, and the motion is to approve as presented. Thank you. Is
Okay.
anybody can second?
I happily second that. And so does Barbara. Okay. Then Mrs. Brown.
I just had a question regarding the alcohol to go. Are they offering any alcohol to go? Is it just being served inside?
As was discussed a couple applications ago, they will maintain their legal right to do so. I don't think it's in the plans necessarily, but they do have the right to do so. So they'll keep that right. But all alcohol to go would be, would abide by the law, which would mean in a sealed container accompanied by a food item. It's not like New Orleans where they could sell alcohol for walking around the streets to drink.
Right. Great, thank you. Would anyone like to call a question on the motion to approve? Oh, Barbara would like to call a question. Marco also. Okay, great. Is anyone opposed to calling the question? Give me a sign, otherwise I'm going to the roll. So this is a motion to approve as presented. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, please give me an indicator. Voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining. Okay, seeing none, then this will go as a 8-0 motion to approve. Thank you very much, Phil and Vivek, and good luck. And we look forward to this new establishment in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. I have one more tonight. Do you mind if I just fire it off real quick?
Sure. Which one are you?
It's the Memorial Sloan Kettering Center in the corporate change application section.
Gotcha. Okay, so given that we have you here, let's go to 2C. This is the Memorial Sloan Kettering change application. So please go ahead.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So one more time to introduce myself for the record, I'm Phil Dorn, attorney with Pizetsky and Bookman. With me is Lisa Young, who is the Director of Food and Nutrition at Memorial Sloan Kettering, one of, if not the world's most renowned cancer treatment and research centers. There are 3 corporate change applications before you tonight. Because Memorial Sloan Kettering has catering licenses at its different properties on the Upper East Side. Those are used for special events such as thank you dinners for donors, etc., things of that nature. For each of these, the SLA has on record an officer of the company. In one case, that officer is leaving, and in the 2 others, the officer is retiring. Lisa here is taking their place at all 3. Absolutely no other changes are occurring. No ownership changes, no changes to the liquor license, no changes to the method of operations, etc. This is very clearly not a bar, not a restaurant. This is Memorial Sloan Kettering. It's not even a place for doctors to go get a drink after a long day. These licenses are strictly for special events within the hospitals, and we are legally obligated to disclose to you that the officer is changing. So we're here in front of you tonight. So with that, once again, I'll turn it back over to the committee.
Thank you, Phil. Appreciate that. First, if there's any member of the public that has a question or comment on this application, let me know. Any member of the public? Seeing none, I will go to Marco, Mrs. Brown, and then Barbara.
Thank you. I would like to put a motion. The motion is to approve as presented. Is anybody can second? Okay.
Yes,
Thank
Barbara.
you.
Great. Mrs. Brown?
I unanimously support this application and the work that MSK has done. They've saved my life and I appreciate them and everything that they do. So I call the question.
Thank you very much. Barbara, did you have something to add? Okay, so we have everyone in support of the calling the question. Okay, if anyone's not in favor of calling the question, give me an indicator. Otherwise, I will go to the roll. Motion to approve as presented. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, please give me an indicator. Voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining. Okay, then this will go as a approval. Happy to support MSK and appreciate all the work that they do and glad to have them in our community. So thank you very much.
Thank you all so much. We really
Great,
appreciate
thanks.
it.
Have a good night.
Have a great evening.
Okay, going back to 2A, do I have the representative for Sistina? This is an alteration application.
Abraham, I see the representative here, Frank Palillo. I'm just going to send him a prompt to unmute.
Yeah, I guess this is my first time here.
Oh.
Hey guys, how are you? It's Frank Palillo.
Hey Frank, how are you? Long time no see.
Doing well. Actually sitting in 2 community board meetings at the same time.
Oh.
Couldn't do that before.
Man of many talents.
Yeah, very limited. Yeah. Are any of my clients on? Is my client on?
I did not see any hand go up for this item.
Yeah, that's par for the course. This is Sistina Restaurant, Giuseppe Bruno,
Mhm.
Who also has Caravaggio in your neighborhood. We're very simply adding a second floor to our premises to be used primarily as a private dining area. We also will use it for additional seating if we do need it. It's something that Sistina's wanted for years. We have too many requests for private parties that we can't accommodate. And this application is before you just to add the second floor.
Okay, no other changes.
No other changes in the method of operation.
Great.
Same Sistina you've known for years.
Okay, great, thank you. So first I will inquire of the public. If there's any members of the public with questions or comments on this application, do let me know. Members of the public. Seeing none, then I will go to committee member Marco, followed by Mrs. Brown.
Yeah, I would like to ask a question. The question is, how many people you are planning to have in the first and second floor or on the 2 levels?
Be happy to answer that question. There's 73 seats on the first floor currently, and we'll be adding 60 seats on the second floor.
Do you have a certificate of operation?
A certificate of occupancy?
No, a public assembly permit.
Not yet. We still need the CVL before we can get the PA, but we will be getting it.
So you don't have the CO either?
But not yet, not for the second floor.
So you don't have the CO and you don't have the public assembly permit?
Correct. And we actually don't expect to open until either the end of this year or the beginning of next.
When did you apply for the CO?
I don't have privy. I didn't do it. I'm not privy to that information. The architect would have done it.
No, this kind of information, because in order to start operating, you need that. You know that very well.
Of course.
And that's the only part. Well, if you want, are you willing to put in a stipulation for that part before to operate? You should have in place the CO as well as the public assembly permit.
You're going to need to anyway.
Yeah, I had.
It's the law.
You have to.
Yeah,
I'm required by law to do it. I mean, I'm not really stipulating to anything other than what I'm legally required to do.
Yeah, just only to reinforce only the stipulation. Are you in agreement?
I can't sit here and say I'm going to operate illegally.
That was a tricky question for a lawyer.
Yeah, it was a tough one. You had me going.
I want to know how you use your skills. Okay, I'm sorry about
Deteriorating
that.
as we speak.
Okay, thank you.
Mrs. Brown?
I'm glad to hear that you're not going to operate illegally, but is that a yes that you're going to include the stipulation?
Absolutely.
Thank you. And on the second floor, is there an elevator?
No.
So somebody who has ADA issues, challenges, will not be able to participate on any activities on the second floor?
The restaurant is ADA compliant on the ground floor, but it will not be ADA compliant on the second floor. We can't put an elevator in.
Well, then I couldn't support this application because I don't
understand.
feel it's equitable.
I
I think
understand.
somebody that's on the first floor should be able to participate in activities on the second floor. Thank you.
Okay, Addison?
Hi, yeah, I was going to make a motion to approve this application as it's presented and not operating illegally or whatever.
Yeah, understood. Okay. We have a second from Barbara. Okay, Marco, I see your hand up, and then I see we have a public hand up. Kathleen?
I am among the disabled with motion problems, but as long as I have a particular, as far as there are 2 floors, as long as I'm able to go into the 1 floor, I'm fine. I don't need to go upstairs for any reason. So as long as I can just get there, I'm perfectly fine. Thank you.
Thank you for that contribution. Appreciate it. Marco?
Thank you. I think I had to clarify for Mrs. Brown. The building code usually allows, as long as you have 1 floor available for the person for handicap, and they have an exclusive area for the person, that's enough. So to ask for the second floor, I think sometimes we have to be very careful because the attorney said clearly, if you put an elevator, you're going to kill the business. And therefore, I think we had to be sensitive in that direction. I mean, I'm not going to say that we don't care about people with disabilities, but we had to be sometimes to assess the point that as long as provide a complete access to the first floor, bathroom, access for the entrance, and a specific table for them, I think is fair enough. I strongly recommend Mrs. Brown to consider your vote in that direction. And thank you.
Thank you, Marco. Mrs. Brown?
Thank you, Marco, for your comments. But my concern was raised when the attorney had stated it would be for private events. So if there was a private event on the second floor and I was invited to that private event, I would not have access to that private event. So that was my concern, that I would be unable to participate. So that's a problem for me, not being able to have access. Thank you.
Thank you. Marco?
I'm going to call the question.
Okay, thank you very much. Does anyone oppose calling the question? I saw Barbara supporting. Okay. Okay, seeing none. Okay, so we're going to go to the roll. This is a motion to approve as presented with the stipulation that they will obviously not operate unlawfully, thereby have the C of O and the public assembly prior to operating. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, please give me a sign. Mrs. Brown?
No.
Thank you very much. Anyone else voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining? Okay, seeing none, then my count, this will be a 7-1 approval. Thank you, Frank. Appreciate your help as always.
Thank you. And Abraham, I do love that background.
Oh, thank you.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night. Okay. Last but not least in this category, do I have the representative for 2B, Jackson Hole?
Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
My name is Lawrence Silverman. I'm an attorney. I'm representing Miscourse Brothers Incorporated, doing business as Jackson Hole. As I have not appeared before your board in the last few years, I appreciate the opportunity to do it at least via Zoom. My client has operated at the same location, Jackson Hole Burger, since 1972. I have represented the family since the mid 80s, going on over 35 years with all the locations. We are not changing use. What we're ultimately asking for is a change in the classification. My client is making every effort to stay in business and is seeking approval to have a full service bar. We currently have a license, which I spoke with Mr. Miscourse earlier this evening. I think he obtained his license in 1975. We've never had a violation. We have never been suspended. We've never had a revocation proceeding. Mr. Miscourse's son, Dimitri, is now the operator of this establishment. My client is now 74 years of age. It's now time for the new generation. And in his opinion, it's important with the COVID protocols to expand his business. It's still a restaurant forward. It's still a hamburger place, still has the same menu. I think the change in classification is not going to upset or change any of the mode of operation that his father ultimately established in 1972. We are ADA compliant. We do not have live music. There's pre-recorded music. There is a dining shed that is licensed by the city. It's in the roadbed. It's an enclosed structure. I actually just looked it up on Google Maps if anyone wants to see a picture. I apologize, but I don't believe my associate uploaded a photograph of the shed, but it was well constructed and it is fully maintained in compliance with the law. And we'd ask for your support.
Just to clarify, because I think on the agenda, it might not be listed clearly. So there's going to be the class change to upgrade from wine, beer, cider to liquor, wine, beer, cider, correct?
That's right.
Okay, great. Just wanted to make sure.
And by the way, there's only one service bar. There isn't a full-fledged bar in the premises. This is not a to-go restaurant, meaning a serve liquor to go. It's primarily for patron.
No, totally understand. Thank you very much. Okay, so first I'll inquire if there's any member of the public with any questions or comments on this application. Okay, seeing none, then I will go to Addison, then to Marco.
Sorry. I'd like to make a motion to approve the application as presented.
Thank you, Addison. You're getting seconds on that. Okay. Marco, I'll go to you in case you want to call the question.
Yeah. Well, let's go call the question, but I'm gonna say something else.
Please,
listen, I'm missing the Jackson Hole on 2nd Avenue. There was used to be our place, and I really miss that place. And I don't know if you convince the owner to open a new place in our neighborhood, because I think this is a completely hamburgers, and I like that. It was a very good place. And thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you. Barbara?
I will call the question.
Thank you very much. Okay, if anyone opposes calling the question, let me know. I'm seeing thumbs up in support of it. Okay, so going to the roll, this is a motion to approve as presented for our brand new neighbors, Jackson Hole. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, please give me an indicator. Voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining. Otherwise, this will go as a approval, as a yes vote. Okay, seeing none, this will go as an approval. Thank you very much. Appreciate Jackson Hole extremely. So hope this helps and look forward to continuing another long tenure in our community.
Thank you very much and good evening.
Thank you. Okay, last but not least, we have a renewal application for Mission Ceviche. Do we have the applicant for Mission Ceviche? Yes, I see Bryce. So just for a bit of context, for the most part, renewal applications, we don't hear, but however, I know there was some conversation last year regarding Mission Ceviche, so we just wanted to provide opportunity for members of the public if there was any issues. I have not received any complaints or any issues since, so very happy to hear that things are working well. But that was the reason for the flyering of this notice. So Bryce, welcome. You're welcome to say hello, but and let us know if there's any change. I'm assuming since it's a renewal, there's no change to any of your operations.
Okay. No, we've been, we had complained in the past, and we worked very well with our neighbors, and we've done what needed to be done to foam the ceiling and stop the noise. And since then, we don't have complaints. So thank you very much.
No, thank you. We appreciate that. I'll inquire if there's any members of the public with questions, comments on this. Oh, I see Cynthia. So let's go to Cynthia.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Bryce and Jose, I just want to echo what you just said. Thank you so much. I will also say I live directly above the restaurant, and for the last several months especially, it's been much better. So there's been a considerable effort made to quiet especially the music, and every time that I've texted Bryce, he's been incredibly responsive, and they've made adjustments. So I can't tell you how much we've appreciated the changes. I can also speak for a few other members that were unable to be here, but residents in the building who are also really happy with the progress that you've made. So we do want to thank you. Just moving forward, we'd love it if there's some, somewhere that we can just say that we'd like everything to continue the way it is, just because I suppose it's kind of the aftershock of how long it took, so we do want to make sure that, we just continue same course as before.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This is great to hear. So I applaud Cynthia and the residents that were impacted, and Bryce and Jose too, for the work you've done together. It's always good to hear these kind of success stories and people coming together to work to improve any situations. Cynthia, I think that would be appropriate. So Bryce, if you're okay, if there were to be a motion to approve, that it would be with the stipulation that you continue to keep working and doing what you've been doing to remedy the situations.
Yes, we will continue to do that. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So if there's no other member of the public, I will go to my committee members. So any other member of the public on Mission Ceviche? Okay, so first I will go to Marco, then Mrs. Brown, and then Barbara.
I think I'm going to put a motion to approve as presented. I think, and then to speak.
Okay.
So I think I had to congratulate the owner of business that you behave properly, and when you do that, we are happy, and we would like to have you in our neighborhood. I think it's a benefit for you, it's a benefit for the community, and everybody's a winner. And thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Mrs. Brown?
Thank you. I'd like to call the question and make a comment.
Okay.
My comment is I am just most pleased when the owner operator and the residents can reach an accord, and the resident can come and say that there's been improvement. And it's good to hear that you are able to coexist. And thank you very much, and keep up the good work.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Barbara.
Call the question, and I echo what everybody else said.
Thank you. Yes, it's always good to hear the other side of a success story. So, if anyone's opposed to calling the question, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to the roll. This is a motion to approve, again, with the stipulation that the good work that has been done continue. Okay, so if anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, let me know. Voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining. Okay, seeing none, this is a unanimous approval. Thank you very much. We appreciate all of your effort. Glad to have you. Continued success and good luck, and thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you. Okay, that is all of the items of the agenda today. I know, Marco, you had a topic, but I'm going to go with the hands that I have first. Cause, Barbara, then Marco, and then, oh, I see a hand from a member of the public. Let me go to a member of the public first. Evelyn David.
Hi, good evening. A very fast question. There is a restaurant that has a 311 violation. It's a complaint. It's unauthorized. I know that because it's on Lexington Avenue between 62 and 63. Their parking, their little restaurant is 2 inches from the bus lane. It is really not a good idea to put a restaurant 2 inches from the bus lane. Do you know what I mean? One swerve from a car or a bus, that's it. And their border is a bunch of flower boxes. So just saying, should I bring this up tomorrow in the transportation and the other meeting tomorrow?
You can if you wish. I think the best course of action is if you email the board info@cb8m.com and send the exact location, the restaurant name, and if you have any photos, you can submit those to the board so we can look into that and see what can be done about that.
Okay, info at CB8.
Yes,
M.com.
CB8M.com.
Right, I got it. Okay, it's called Il Grandino, and the complaint, its complaint came back as unauthorized. We will look into it. That was from the city, 311, but nobody's done anything. And something happened. They also have tables by their restaurant. It's like they're on the sidewalk. They're doing all this stuff, and I'm just, where is everybody that's supposed to be looking at stuff,
No, absolutely. Thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Okay.
And then,
okay. All right.
We'll have the board office get back to you on it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Good evening.
Good evening. Okay. Cause, Barbara, and Marco.
Yeah, concerning tomorrow night, I'm not able to go. I just found out about this at the last minute yesterday or the day before. This is concerning the open restaurants and sidewalk structures. Sidewalk structures are illegal. Are you going, Abraham?
I will be in attendance tomorrow. Yes, and I've been reviewing the proposed legislation. So this won't. I don't expect this will be the last time that we'll have a conversation. But the transportation committee was able to get a representative to come speak about the draft legislation.
Can we get a copy of the legislation? Can you email that, or can the board?
I will circulate it to the committee.
Okay, and if you could bring that up, definitely the illegal sidewalk structures that was from the start that they should have never gone up, but they've gone up like
Yeah.
So
It is top of mind, and one of the things that I was looking at is the current wording of the legislation says that anything, well, specifically enclosed sidewalk structures prior to March, I don't know if it was March 20th, middle, or the 31st, 2020, that were in existence prior to would be okay.
Correct. They were grandfathered.
They're going to stay grandfathered. So I'm just going to press the question of, okay, well, if that is the case, then is there going to be more enforcement to ensure that the other ones are now taken down?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Cause. I will be there tomorrow for that. Barbara.
I don't know if it's old business or new business. I think I heard that you addressed speeding up the licensing, the liquor licensing from the state. I will say it's just so unfair. I was in a new restaurant on 2nd Avenue, a Japanese restaurant that's really good. And they're hurting because we wanted a beer and couldn't get one. What can we do? Is there anything that this committee can do?
Well, what we did pass a resolution that was voted on by the full board, calling on the SLA to expend whatever resources are necessary to cut down the time, because while there is the temporary permit process, not every establishment and venue location is able to take advantage of that, and those types of establishments are hurting because of the long delays. So we did call on them to try to expend resources to speed that up.
Okay, so it was addressed. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara.
I thought I heard it, but I wanted to bring it up again. Thank you.
Marco?
Thank you. I already, I think I make my point about the third-party deliveries bicycles. And the point is, yeah, I don't know what to do because the issue is enforcement. And if we don't have enforcement, it's like we don't have anything. And this is not my complaint. This is what the people complain in the meeting. And it's similar like cause. Cause is always the question, and he's right, he's not wrong. And again, no enforcement. And finally, also there is only one person about the smoke of the when they are smoking the cannabis. Also, people are upset with that. And even myself, yeah, because I don't want to smell this kind of the fumes, which is basically okay. If the people want to get low, down, whatever they want, I don't care. That they throw it to us when we are inside of the train or even in the street. I think I don't know what to do. We need that's basically the law. The regulations are right there, but there is no enforcement. If we don't have no enforcement, we don't have anything. So I think in that direction, we cannot enforce ourselves anything at all. So that is not our role to go enforce anything. We have also to figure it out how to put pressure on the agencies that control, license, all this kind of the business, because it's unfair. They put the law and nobody obey, and there is no enforcement. So I think that is the major point right here. How are we gonna be more effective to create something against the people that violate the laws?
Yes, this has been a long time issue for us, and one of the things that I've suggested, and I'd love to move forward with, and maybe Russell and working with some of the transportation committee, maybe we can again try to coordinate almost a forum where we do again invite our elected officials, invite representatives from the PD to speak about the enforcement question, and then also invite, again, we've talked about trying to invite third-party operators for deliveries for the bicycles, because that's one main area of complaints that we receive, to at least start the dialogue. And you know, it may not resolve, but I think it'll just bring more attention and have each player know that we're kind of, you know, we're paying attention and we want to find some way forward in resolution.
Well, let's go see if it works, because so far, I mean, we has been years dealing with that and without no answer. And that's basically the bottom line is enforcement. That's the problem. If there are no enforcement, for instance, DOT is supposed to enforce. They don't enforce anything at all. And that is wrong. And that's create this mess. And so I don't know what have to do. I think Russell is raising the hand, and we would like to hear maybe he has more ideas, because the more ideas we have, the better we can see, can find a solution, something. But your idea that you propose, I think is good. And I think we can start with that one. Thank you.
Yes, I'll go to Russell first, because I did mention your name.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately, I mean, you guys are all correct. It's an enforcement issue, and they just sort of haven't been doing it. But I think we probably need legislation on it, and legislation from the city. And, you know, when you're talking about dealing with these big delivery apps and things like that, I think it's going to take some sort of requirement being imposed by, you know, city or state law on how they operate. And I think that's sort of what we are going to need to sort of target in terms of our efforts, in part because, you know, you want to make sure that the enforcement is actually going to impact the delivery service as opposed to just the individual delivery drivers, which is an issue that we've actually over the course of several years here. So it's, you know, if you're just talking about individual enforcement against a particular delivery person and then trying to tie that back to a delivery service, I think you're going to have a tough time absent sort of more to hang your hat on in the law.
Right. No, agreed. You're right. And we don't want to have that kind of disproportionate impact. We don't want the individual to have their bikes confiscated. Ultimately, we're looking at we want responsibility from the operators. Okay, I see Boaz has his hand up. So as a member of the public, I'll go to Boaz first before I continue with our committee members.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Boaz. How are you? Good to see you again.
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
So yeah, I agree with the problem with the bikes. The only comment, as you probably know, I don't want you guys to put it on the business.
Yes.
The small business are struggling. I loved Barbara's comment about the experience she has with one of the business without the liquor. We need to help them as much as we can. And you guys are doing a fantastic job. But yeah, with the bikes, I see that you guys are starting to ask questions about the bike service. It's not usually, it's all outsourced. It's either Uber and so on. Let's not put it on the business. Thank you.
No, definitely agree and support. And we do not want to stifle business. So thank you very much for that. Okay, circling back, Mrs. Brown, Barbara.
Thank you. I can only echo Marco's comments. My mantra has always been oversight, monitoring, enforcement. I strongly support, Abraham, your recommendation to do a forum, to have the electeds before us, but more importantly, for them to pass legislation so that everybody can do a better job. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I will make outreach to try to get that coordinated and work with stakeholders. So thank you for that, Barbara.
Also,
oh yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Did you get a response from the SLA from the resolution? Did you any feedback at all?
Not that I'm aware of yet, but Robert and Will, maybe we can follow up with them to see if they had any response to our resolution.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, as of yet, the board office has yet to receive any feedback from the SLA on said resolution.
Okay, we'll let's see if we can follow up with them. Thank you very much, Mrs. Brown, for your input. Barbara, I have you next.
Thanks. Marco made two different, he talked about the bikes, which of course everything you said I agree with, and the cannabis, and he talked about two issues with that. One is the non-enforcement, which is so frustrating and so counterproductive. The other one he talked about are the people walking on the streets and the smell and all that. I don't like the smell, so I'll put that on. But I think it is legal. One of the things I would like this committee to do is to say, where can you smoke? My building is a non-smoking building. I hope my neighbors are not smoking. If not, they're being very careful about it. I don't want the smells in my apartment. Where would you, if you can't do it outside, you can't do it in the apartment. One of the things we could do is the Amsterdam model of having coffee shops. I was in Amsterdam and you smell very little. The little pot I smelled were obviously tourists and not the Dutch. I'm wondering if that's something that this committee can address also. Where would be a responsible place to use legal cannabis?
Thank you. That is something that we can think about. So again, if I've seen several kind of news articles about other countries and such seeking to like ban smoking altogether, not specifically cannabis, but just regular smoking outdoors, etc. So these are all topics we can think about. And then you're right, in terms of the cafes, in the same way they had kind of the cigar lounges, there could be, a dedicated
yeah.
Cafe.
Because if you can't do it in your apartment, we can't do it on the terrace. So people who smoke go outside and smoke. Right. But if you can't smoke cannabis, like where are you going to do it? And it's not going to work if we just say no, no, no. I don't think. That's my feeling. I don't know. So
No.
thank you, Marco, for bringing it.
Great, thank you both. Cause?
Move to adjourn.
Okay, I see several seconds in support of that. Okay, does anyone oppose adjourning? I don't think so. Okay, great. So thank you everyone for joining this evening. Appreciate it. Have a good evening, and we will see you next month. Good night.